God Prayers Up was a record where it was like, all right, you got to make something, and you have to flip a sample. Basically, you have to use a sample of something and invert it and turn it into a new record idea. I had messed around with samples before. I had always wanted to like flip "They Say It's Wonderful" by Irving Berlin. I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
What I didn't expect was that my favorite version of "They Say It's Wonderful" is Kirsten Dunst in Spider-Man 3, when at the
Really?
top of the movie, when she's singing "They Say It's Wonderful" and Peter Parker's there between two random white dudes and goes, "That's my girlfriend." That is my
That's
favorite
your
version.
favorite version? No way.
Yeah, with Harry Osborn like looking down on them all
Right.
like sinisterly. I didn't know that was my favorite rendition of this song
Huh.
in context. And so that anger that, we're not friends anymore. Like, I don't need anyone anymore.
Mm.
Part of it was me speaking to the person that I was with at the time. Part of it was me speaking to people that were naysayers in my life at the time. And part of it was like, my girl was half Beyonce. My ex-girl was half Beyonce. Like, that was beyond, like, anybody who, you can Google her. If you find her, I'm not gonna say her name, but if you go and find her, you'd be like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, you're completely correct. And at the same time, this hip hop thing, this music thing is my Beyonce. And your bitch looks like Chauncey. Get your bills up, Chauncey Billups.
Yep.
I always want to find a way to
That's a great line.
my verses, but here we are. Here we
Yep.
are. A
Great
lot of
line.
that anger just came from where I was, and when I tell you I wasn't the happiest, like, I really wasn't the happiest. It's just what it was.
Yeah.
It's
But
just
that's how it goes sometimes.
yeah.
You know, like that's where music like this comes from, like we were just saying.
Yep.
Crawl is such a stark difference
Yes.
from honestly from the rest of the whole project. You
Mm,
know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
for me, Crawl was kind of like the awkward cousin, but like it still makes sense that it's there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Talk about Crawl.
Crawl was a record where Aaron had given us a prompt to write a story. We had to come up with a story, and I came up with this idea for a young woman of color working in a coal mine. She's surrounded by all these men, but somehow she got this job, and
Yeah.
she's trying to hold down this job because it's the only thing that is paying her well enough to be able to take care of her life, herself, maybe her kids, whatever's going on. And one day, because all of the work conditions in this situation were not healthy, somehow the coal mine catches on fire and she dies inside of it. That idea immediately came from I was during this time, 2017 was, I had a mixtape out called Atmospheric. I was working on a lot of dancey R&B-ish, Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson kind of, David Bowie, very stuff. And as soon as I kind of like got given that prompt and went into the studio and started coming up with the drum pocket, I just felt dancey. It came out very easily, and the lyrics just kind of flowed after that. And two of my really great homies, Austin Brenner and Joshua Zong, who both graduated with me in 2020 from NYU and Clive Davis Institute. Josh, that running through the air tonight, he had came up with that idea. And while I had finished producing, I kept talking to Austin like, yo, each of these sections, the Cocoa got chocolate, I like started each verse like that, but I didn't know whether it was a pre-hook. I didn't know whether it was a chorus. Like, there was so many different ideas, and I kept coming to Austin, like freaking out, like, yo, what's the best way to do it? And he gave the arrangement and structure to it. Josh lent that really beautiful post-chorus, and the rest of it was just me wilding out in my room, finding like samples of like coal, like miners and like chain gangs hitting like stones and stuff, and like putting that in the production and just like bugging out, as I usually do.
Right.